All right, let's just dive right in. We're about to go on a journey through some of the most unbelievable, counterintuitive, and just downright wild truths about our world and the universe. Seriously, prepare to have your mind blown.
I mean, do you really know it? We all go through our days thinking we've got a pretty good handle on things, right? But the truth is, reality is often so much stranger and more fascinating than we could ever imagine. Let's start with something you probably have in your kitchen right now.
So let's talk about honey. Because of its unique chemistry, it has almost no water and it's super acidic. It's basically a nightmare for bacteria. So much so that it pretty much lasts forever. And we know this for a fact because archaeologists have literally found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs. Honey that's over 3,000 years old and it's still perfectly good to eat. Insane.
And just when you thought you had your fruits figured out, botany shows up to mess with all of us. See, according to the official botanical definition, a berry is a fruit that comes from a single flower with one ovary. Well, guess what? Bananas fit that description perfectly. But strawberries? Nope. They come from a flower that has more than one ovary, which puts them in a whole different category. Told you this was going to get weird. Okay, now let's turn our attention to the animal kingdom. This is a place where the rules of what you think is possible are just constantly being broken. Right, let's just get this one out of the way. Yes, it's a real thing. Wombats have these incredibly unique elastic intestines that literally form their droppings into little cubes. And get this, they stack them up to mark their territory. It's practical, I guess, it's efficient, and it is absolutely one of nature's weirdest fun facts. Okay, this one really messes with your sense of time. So which do you think has been around longer? Sharks have been swimming in our oceans for at least 400 million years. But trees? The first trees didn't show up until about 350 million years ago. That means for a staggering 50 million years, our planet had sharks, but not a single forest. Just think about that for a second. And the weirdness just does not stop. The animal world is packed with these incredible superpowers. Butterflies have taste receptors on their feet so they can figure out which plants to land on. Some species of turtle can actually absorb oxygen through their rear ends. Yep, they can breathe through their butts. Sloths can slow their metabolism down so much that they can hold their breath longer than a dolphin. Oh, and a shrimp's heart? It's in its head. Of course it is. We're going to end this section on something truly profound. There's a jellyfish nicknamed the immortal jellyfish that can basically live forever. When it gets old or injured, it can revert back to its earliest stage of life and start over. It's like hitting a biological reset button. It can do this over and over again, potentially forever. So we've looked at the outside world. Now let's turn inward, because our own bodies are just as strange and marvelous as anything else you'll find in nature. Let's take a look under the hood. Just try to wrap your head around this number. 100,000. That's how many times your heart beats every single day. Without you even thinking about it, this incredible muscle just keeps going, pumping blood through 60,000 miles of blood vessels. The amount of work it does is just staggering. And this chart really shows where a huge chunk of your body's energy is going. Your brain, which only makes up about 2% of your body weight, is a total energy hog. It burns through 20% of all your body's oxygen and calories just to keep you thinking and dreaming and processing the world. Okay, here's a thought to keep you humble. That banana you might have eaten for breakfast, you share about 60% of your DNA with it. It's just a wild reminder that all life on this planet is connected, all sharing some ancient common ancestor. Think about how crazy this is. The acid in your stomach is strong enough to dissolve metal. So why doesn't it just dissolve your stomach? Well, it's because your body is constantly rebuilding, creating a whole new protective lining every few days. The only thing stopping you from digesting yourself is this incredible, constant self-repair. All right, let's zoom back out, from our own bodies to the very planet we live on. Because the ground beneath our feet and the sky above our heads, they are full of secrets. You know that amazing earthy smell right after it rains? It's one of the best smells in the world, right? Well, it actually has a name, petrichor. It's caused by a mix of plant oils and chemicals from bacteria in the soil that get tossed up into the air when raindrops hit the ground. So now you have a word for it. This is so hard to believe. You look up at the sky and you see a light, fluffy, harmless-looking cloud floating by. Well, that single cloud can weigh over 1,000,000 pounds. It's just made of billions of tiny water droplets, but when you add them all up, the weight is immense. The only reason it stays up there is because the air below it is even heavier. This fact completely changes how you think about the word desert. See, a desert isn't defined by being hot, it's defined by how little rain or snow it gets. And the driest continent on the entire planet is Antarctica. It gets less precipitation than the Sahara, making it the world's largest polar desert. And speaking of immense power, a single bolt of lightning is over 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. It can hit temperatures around 53,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, that is just a mind-boggling amount of energy happening right here in our own atmosphere. For our last section, we're going big, really big. We are leaving Earth behind entirely and heading out into the vast, silent, and just utterly astonishing cosmos. So our planetary neighbor, Venus, is a very strange place. It spins so slowly that one day on Venus, that's one full rotation, takes 243 Earth days. But it orbits the sun much faster, taking only 225 Earth days to complete a year. So yeah, a day on Venus is literally longer than its year. Now, you've probably heard this quote before, but it never, ever gets less powerful. Just try for a second to imagine every grain of sand on every single beach on the whole planet. The number of stars out there in the universe is bigger than that. It's a scale that our brains just can't really comprehend. And in the middle of all that cosmic grandeur, there's nothing. No sound. Sound waves need something to travel through, like air or water. But in the near-perfect vacuum of space, there's nothing for them to travel through. So no matter how big the explosion or how spectacular the cosmic event, it all happens in complete and total silence. Okay, let's bring it all the way back home for our final fact to something familiar, a game of chess. The number of possible unique games of chess is a number so big, it's estimated to be 10 to the power of 120. And the number of atoms in the entire known universe, that's only about 10 to the power of 80. A simple game on a finite board contains more complexity than all the physical matter we can observe. So what does all this really show us? It shows that we live in a universe of endless surprises. What we think of as normal, common-sense reality, it's just a tiny sliver of a much larger, much stranger, and much more wonderful picture, which really makes you wonder, what's the next mind-blowing fact that we haven't even uncovered yet?